That's called hitting the brakes. No. We're back. Okay. Hopefully you've been practicing your hitting the brakes. That's a ridiculous hitting the brakes.
He practiced that for 20 minutes.
Hey, it would have looked better if I had. Okay. We're going to go on to two-step. And in two-step, it's a little bit different. We're going to give you the concept first of this. In two-step, the easiest way to do this is to come up with a break pattern. Okay? And a lot of people that don't use break patterns, and those of us that actually have been dancing this for a long time, it's easier for us maybe to adjust our material to hit an effective break. But when you're first starting out, especially in two-step, if you take your routine, and if you know how many basics you have for every move, and you sort of know what follows what, if you come up with a very strong break pattern that you can just insert, it's sort of like cut and paste in word processing, where you remove something and paste something else back in. And that's really what this is. What we're going to do is give you a break pattern that takes 4 basics. And that way you have something strong coming up to the break. We'll show you what the break pattern is, and then I'll kind of go over how to insert it. The actual break pattern starts with, it actually starts with her free spin. Okay, that's the first part of the break pattern. So we're just going to show you this break pattern, and then I'll show you how to get into it. So the free spin for the lady is 1, 2, 3, slow. Around 2, 3, slow. Turn 2, 3, slow. 4, 2, 3, slow. Okay, and our break, even though that wasn't towards the camera, our break is just going to be a dip for this time. And it's kind of quick. And that took 4 basics, and I'll count them through the basics so you can see. As she's turning on the first one, 1, 2, 3, slow. 2, 2, 3, slow. 3, 2, 3, slow. 4, 2, 3, break. Okay? Now, the reason we choose a free spin to get into it is that you can take a free spin from anywhere. If we're in side-by-side position, we can release the lady. 1, 2, 3, slow, and go back. 2, 2, 3, slow. 3, 2, 3, slow. 4, 2, 3, slow. Okay, so this will work from almost any position. The tougher positions are going to be something like maybe a sweetheart rap. Okay, but still, if I'm in this position, I could still spin the lady out one way or the other. Either direction, it would work, okay? So a free spin is a nice way to adjust. Now, the way we're going to insert this, and actually I'm going to have to teach the pattern here in a second, but the way we insert it is that you have to just be dancing along, and wherever the break is, you stop, okay? And you kind of go, you might be dancing around into whatever pattern it is, you're coming up, you hear the music, all of a sudden it's a break. And you go, oh. That would have been a terrible place to have to stop my routine. Nothing strong about this position. So what we're going to do is back yourselves up. And it's really hard to actually dance it backwards, okay, and kind of go through the movement, okay, and go through the movement is pretty tough. So you take what you think was maybe 4 basics back, and you just, whatever it was. It might have been that you think, okay, let's see, I think I was in a window. 4 basics back, I was in a window. All right, and I came out, about 5 basics, I might have been in a window, and I took her into side-by-side, so I was in side-by-side. Good, okay, so you sort of guess. And the way to do that is you count. You go from here and say, okay, let's see, did I go 1, 2, 3, slow, 2, 2, 3, slow, 3, 2, 3, slow, 4, 2, 3, yep, that's where I was, okay? So you backed up your whole routine, and you found that, okay, I was in the window. Was I in the window or side-by-side? I was in the window, and I went into side-by-side. So here's a good, tough one, okay? Here's like the hardest one you could ever do, okay? In this case, I'm in a position where this is really sort of tough, but I'm still going to do a free spin release. So as she steps back, and we'll have worked it out that she's going to release, 1, 2, 3, slow, 2, 2, 3, slow, and it still goes right into the same break pattern, okay? Now let me just sort of teach this break pattern. This is out of a free spin. Now the lady doesn't have to do a double turn. It's kind of easy to do a double turn. All right, so normally we teach it as a double turn on the 1, 2, 3. She could just do a single turn, depending on how hard the position is. She could just go quick, quick, slow, slow, and into the next position. And there's 2 ways to think about it. To make it very easy, instead of doing a pivoting basic, a person could, from this position, just sort of turn around. Just a little turning basic, okay? We're going to teach it as a promenade pivot just to add a little more style to it. So as she turns, she'll do the double turn. 1, 2, 3, slow. As I pick her up, I'm going to take her into promenade and do the pivots. Quick, quick. On slow, slow, I'm going to do a pivot all the way across the lady. Pivot, pivot. Then I'm going to turn the lady on an outside turn and end in promenade on the 2 slows. Quick, quick, slow, slow. Now from here, and this is kind of important, I like to use this pattern because it's adjustable. When you're going into this material here, if you get lucky and the break happens on slow, all right, if you're counting 1, 2, 3, slow, if you get lucky and it happens on slow, that's great, that's luck. That would be 1, 2, 3, dip, slow. Okay, that's luck. It doesn't always happen that way. It might be 1, 2, 3, slow, and break. In which case, you keep returning till the break. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, slow, and break. And the same thing goes for if it were fast. If it came in the middle of that basic, or at the beginning of the basic, simply turn the lady into the break, and you can sort of accelerate it. All right, and you'll find that the way music is written, it's never going to be perfect with this 6-count dance they call two-step, okay, that has 4 steps. And as we do this, you're always going to find it's going to happen somewhere in that pattern. If you're lucky, it'll happen on the slow. If you're not lucky, you'll have to accelerate, okay, or you'll have to prolong it. And sometimes, and in lead and follow situations, guys, this is a great pattern to come out of. Any crossing move, come out of an inside turn, I promise you, if you just sort of turn the lady a few times to hit the break, this one's pretty easy to lead and come back out. Now, it's important that you come back out correctly. When you come out of this inside turn to break, all right, when we're here in promenade, we come out, quick, quick, slow, slow, you're going to have and 1 again. So you're going to have to bring her back up and 1, 2, 3 to come out of the move. And I suggest you actually come out finishing that turning basic. And then as you get done with the movement, as you come out, slow, and 1, 2, 3, you can release the lady to pick up whatever hand you might need to get where you would have been, which in this case, I think I remembered correctly, was the window. So what I did is I inserted a whole new pattern, but I took it out of when you were in the window, okay? This is where we were. All right, and if you had to remember where your routine was, remember the next move would have been maybe this. So it's real easy, let's say, to end in side by side instead of the window. So when we're here, we come out, do a basic, turn the lady, and end in side by side. Now you can continue on with your routine. Now the reason we like to use the break patterns, or we suggest that, is that it's stronger. When you're coming into a movement you really are comfortable with, you're going to have a stronger break. A lot of people get out there, and here's what the break pattern looks like. 1, 2, 3, slow, break. And 1, 2, 3. Well, that's not a very strong break at all. And if you're in an age right now where people are starting to work on break patterns, if yours are stronger than theirs, it's a little better in competition. Now, we can also take that same one. I'll give you 3 break patterns in a row to make it easy. The first one was the dip. The second one comes out of the same exact move. And this is very strong. Taking the lady at inside turn to a wrap duck under. And what she's going to do is come through quick, quick, slow, and slow. And it's good for her to be up on that slow. And to take the lady out, if you need to free spin her back to where you were, bring her across, quick, quick, slow, slow, turn her out, and follow, and back to wherever you happen to be in your routine. It also goes nicely into pretzel-type movements or hammer locks. But as we come through that movement, the same thing could happen, and it's rather fast. And as she comes through, make sure, ladies, that you get a strong position, and maybe snap the head a little bit or something just to come up with a little stronger position as you come through. Quick, quick, slow, and duck. And guys, it's good to turn and face the lady if you can. Hit some sort of movement that turns your head towards her at the same time on the break, and then come straight through for the release, okay? One other way to do this, actually 2 other ways. We're going to give you a shoulder roll out of this. So when you're in this same position, there's 2 ways to do it. One, just continue down line of dance, do a shoulder roll, quick, quick, slow, and out, and hit your stop. There's your break. And if it needs 2 or 3 or 4 shoulder rolls to hit the break, it's the same thing. It's adjustable. You can also, if you're facing for line of dance, to face the audience a little bit more, if you want to make it a little more advanced. As you come through, you can turn out, and man doesn't travel as much unless the lady go by. Quick, quick, slow, slow, and hit some sort of an outside opposing line. And usually we would look at your partner on the break. And then you have to finish it by bringing her back in, quick, slow, and some sort of a release or back to where you are. And you'll just make that up, guys. This is, we'll give you the breaks, you make them up, as far as the ending and how it goes to and from where your routine is. We're going to put on a little bit of music and try to hit at least the dip break for you, and then who knows what we'll hit, but we'll try. I need to be over here. I think we need to try that again. One more time. Here we go. One more time there, Dave. We were trying to get set up here.
Ready.
Here we go. We're ready.
Lord, I can't remember all the places we've been, but we stuck together through thick and thin, and you can't find a new friend like this old car.
Can we try it again there, Dave? That was good. We'll take it from the side-by-side where we showed you before. We'll do the rap duck out one. Again, we sort of had to have counted, and we've sort of counted so we know where it is. Anytime there, Dave.
Lord, I can't remember all the places we've been, but we stuck together.
That's it.
Thick and thin.
Rap.
Can't find a new friend like this old car.
Good. Okay, so that shows you how two of those are hit. And again, I would have been through counting our routine, and we're going along, and all of a sudden we would have gotten to, and this is sort of important to remember, we'd have been just dancing along, and what we had in our routine was this. We turned the lady to here, we turned her across, we turned her across again, and at the end of the fourth basic, here we were. That's where the break hit. And so what we did to remember is that we took out four basics. We backed it up. So we came out of this movement, technically, or what have you, or we came out of this movement, either way, and we free spun the lady and inserted the movement. And that's basically what we did. So we'll be back with some closing remarks about the whole concepts of hitting the brakes in just a minute. We're back, and hopefully, just to sum everything up a little bit, when we're talking about musical interpretation again and hitting the brakes, you want to make sure that it can be overkill sometimes. Sometimes some of these songs have so many breaks in them that you might have to dance through a little bit of it, or the lyrical interpretation is not as strong as the musical, so you'll hit the music instead of the lyrics. Sometimes the lyrics are much stronger. Now, we also sometimes will use a little of both. Every once in a while, we'll hit the humor or the love of the lyrics as well as the strength of the music, and we'll just sort of alternate between the two. You'll find that sometimes people make up choreography, and we're all guilty of trying to do this, and it doesn't look that good. I'm reminded of times that I was 3 years old in little dance recitals and such for school, and they used to go like, "I'm a little teapot," you know, that type of stuff. Well, that's a little much, okay? If the word says teapot, leave it alone, okay? And you'll find that sometimes if you play it up too much, it doesn't really come across. And humorously, it's really a little tougher. So when you do things that are funny, make sure they're funny. Look at yourself on tape, and if you don't laugh at yourself, it's not funny enough, okay? Also, when we're dealing with teams, for instance, teams can use the same concepts of breaks, and they certainly do. It's one of the things that we've worked with a lot of teams. Concept's the same, it's just that in teams, when you have a lot of people, sometimes you'll hear musical things that might tell you of a ripple, for instance, and you'll start from one end of the couples and go all the way down to the other. And we are working on our forthcoming team choreography tape. It's not out yet, but hopefully you'll look forward to that if you're on a team. Again, whether it's lyrical or musical, we want you to have fun with this. Hitting the brakes is meant to be fun. Again, it's good for competition. It's great for social dancing, just out there lead and follow. And we want to kind of stress also that if you're in competition, hitting the brakes is something that adds to your choreography.